You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with another Let's Play episode of Sileo, Ty's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! When I finally dumped his ass, he left a few things in my house some time before. I considered, burning them or whatever, but he wasn't even worth the effort, so I tossed them onto the porch. Texted him to come pick up his damn shit. The days after that, they just sat there. I knew that as long as they were still there, he would still be paying me one last visit. I was angry and numb. I didn't feel anything else. Once or twice I caught my mind drifting to this hypothetical scenario where he'd turn up with flowers or some other gay-ass shit. You know, he'd apologize and beg for my forgiveness. I'd noticed that something had changed or whatever and agree to take him back on certain conditions. And things would go back to how they used to be. Things would be good again. I hated that fantasy. It was stupid. Unrealistic. I knew better than that. Logically, I knew that I'd done the right thing, but anyway, one morning I checked the mail and his shit was still out there. That afternoon I went out to get some groceries and shit. When I went out the front door, they were gone. I guess that's when it struck me. His things being there, knowing that he'd been around. That stupid fantasy. My emotional state had been holding on by a thread. That thread, specifically. That remote possibility, that far-flung fantasy. And now, they were gone. He'd been, and he'd gone. There were no flowers, no note, no apologies, no forgiveness, no happy ending. The last glimmer of hope had been extinguished, and I had been plunged into the cold darkness of reality. You know in those action movies when they blow up a dam with dynamite or whatever? It was like that. It completely annihilated me. That was the day I realized that it had been over for a long time. I just hadn't come to terms with it yet. I cried pretty much constantly for days and days. Never even got groceries. Ty had given me time off and was even kind enough to check up on me. He did some shopping on my behalf. He even sat down with me and tried his best to help me out. Some time ago, you know, Diego, when you get to be my age, it is easy to think that you have seen it all before. To think that your wealth of experiences over the years make you some kind of authority when it comes to living life. But I consistently surprise myself. Just when I think I've seen it all, I find myself treading unfamiliar waters yet again. Everyone is a learning experience, but you soon enough realize that they are never going to stop coming. I've had my heart broken before, a number of times in fact. I've experienced bad relationships, experienced messy breakups, unrequited love, all of it. You learn from them and think, I know what to do and what not to do next time. But next time comes along and those lessons are rarely applicable to those new and unique circumstances. And when it all goes awry, no matter how many times you've been there before, it always hurts just like the first time. But why? He never even liked me. He never treated me well. He was an ass from day one. So why the hell does it hurt like this? Why is this so hard? These things hurt like they do when you truly love somebody, even if that person did not love you back. Even if the experience was only brief, and while the relationship may have been a mistake, genuinely loving somebody is a gift worth cherishing, regardless of right or wrong. Regret your choices, your actions, and your words. But never, ever regret your love. I hate him so much. I hate that I meant nothing to him. I hate that it was just a fucking plaything to him. He didn't give a fuck about me. He wasted nearly a year of my life. He's the reason I put on all this fucking weight. Not even an apology. I hate him. I know. You have every right. What happened to you was unfair. Love often is, I am afraid. You know, it was not so long ago that I fell for somebody. He was not my usual fare, but there was something about him. It is hard to explain, but I found myself drawn to him. I just had to know more about him, and the more time I spent in his presence, the stronger that urge would grow. I already knew that no amount of experience could prepare me for every scenario, but even then, the specifics of this relationship were something else entirely. I loved him. Genuinely. But it was simply not meant to be. It hurt as bad as every preceding separation, maybe even a little more. But I am proud of the lessons I took away from it. I am proud of the love I felt for him. I do not regret loving him, but I am sad things had to end like they did. And just like you, I subconsciously shielded myself from the pain, my mind scrambling to protect itself from yet another excruciating heartbreak. The hardest thing is, we never quite found closure. Part of me still does not realize it was truly over. There are tears yet to be shed, and honestly, that is somehow harder than the alternative. I know how you are feeling right now is deeply unpleasant, but it is a step in the right direction. You are on the path to recovery, to a brighter future. These things can endure a long time before you truly get over them. The immediate hurt might fade, leaving a dull ache which persists for a long, long time. I promise you, it will only get easier from here. All you can do is stand tall and be strong. The only way out is through, and be glad that this hurts. All it means is that it meant something to you, and that is what is most important above all else. Alright, give me 1 second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump back in, shall we? Okay. I know that his words are probably the last thing you want to hear right now, but I'm sorry about that, but a lot of what he said really made sense to me. Maybe it makes some sense to you, too. I ain't so good with that sort of shit myself. When was this exactly? A few days after Kyrex and I broke up, so not that long before you shifted up here. Why's that? I don't know. He never mentioned that to me. Guess it wasn't important. Huh. You don't think... Nah, I've spoken the past tense with you, right? What I heard yesterday was present tense and future tense. The fact that I even told you that tells me it's nothing to do with Spencer. I'd say it was. Why couldn't he just tell me that? I mean, I guess, but thinking about it, he was still kind of vague. You didn't want to shift the focus, I guess. You work differently. You empathize by relating other people's experiences to your own. I suppose you could call it logical empathy. Ty's empathy is more of the emotional kind. He wasn't comparing, he's providing context for a statement. I guess. Oh, hey, that reminds me. You never actually told me what that damn Raven said yesterday. Oh, you're right. I guess with everything that happened afterwards, it kind of slipped my mind. It was kind of strange, actually. If I recall, the topic started with a factoid relating to Ortegan firewater, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. Have you heard about DCD, the Doomsday Clock Disorder? Oh, I've heard the name before. Don't know what it's about, though. It's this weird genetic disease or something, I guess. Spencer explained it better than I can. But basically, there's these genes in all of us that have basically always been there, but used to be, switched off or something. For some reason, everybody is active now, and eventually it'll cause us all to go extinct if we can't find a solution. Shit, that sounds kind of serious. You think people would know more about it? Yeah, Spencer said something like how it doesn't kill anybody and doesn't mess with quality of life or anything, and nobody alive right now is going to see the end anyway. Out of sight, out of mind or some shit. But basically, it skews the gender balance over time. Fewer females born, more males. It also sharply increases homosexuality. Eventually even makes a species infertile, although that hasn't happened yet. At least not to most of us. The Ortegans are apparently 200 years ahead of the rest of us. They're right at the end of it and won't be around much longer. What the hell even is an Ortegan? I don't think I've ever met one. They're dragons. I've mentioned Jay, right? Apparently he's one. Rarest subspecies, too. There's a super weird pecking order thing when they intermingle, which determines the species of the offspring. Apparently southern winter dragons are recessive or something, and that the other parent species will always take precedence, so both had to be southern winter dragons if they wanted the offspring to match. I don't know if that has anything to do with the DCD or not, or if that's just a weird thing about Ortegans and southern winter dragons, but Ortegans aren't far from being totally extinct, and southern winter dragons in particular are numbered in the hundreds worldwide. Hundreds. Holy fuck, that's awful. So Jay is, kind of special, huh? He'd be special if he weren't a rarity. Just you wait until you meet him, but... yeah. I never knew this until yesterday. He never mentioned anything. I don't think I'm gonna raise the topic with him either. Fair enough, man. I gotta meet this dude at some point. But anyway, forget about that. Why'd Spencer tell you this? What does it mean? I don't know. He chose the drink. But I'm the one who pushed for him to tell me the whole full story. I guess I was trying to prolong the encounter, hoping I'd learn something. It's probably nothing, just a coincidence. Oh, goodness. I don't know, man. That whole thing and what Ty said to me that day, I ain't discounting either. I really don't think that's anything either. From what I can tell, the thing with Spencer is ongoing. The thing he told you about was in the past, right? Yeah, but still, I don't know, man. Anyway, you realize I was trying to console you and shit, and we got totally waylaid. You're the one who asked about what Spencer said. Shh. Don't let me take responsibility for my own actions. Forgetting about all this other shit, did anything Ty said to me help you at all? I know shit he said is probably the last thing you want to hear. I just can't believe that one of those lessons you didn't learn was honesty. Come on, dude. That ain't even what you're supposed to be taking away from all this. I know. I don't know. You said some good things, I guess. But all in all, I'm doing fine. I don't think... But are you sure it's not some delayed reaction or whatever? Ty suggested that's how he felt back then, and I sure as hell felt that way myself. Maybe part of you hasn't realized it's over yet. I feel like I'd know somewhere deep down if that were the case. You'd be surprised, man. I mean, I was. But I could be wrong. Maybe you're okay. Things are short-lived after all, and with that break you had, maybe you anticipated this. Maybe you're prepared for it somehow. I don't know, man. What you're feeling right now might not be the full spectrum of your emotions is all. It might seem like your anger is the dominant force right now, but you might be blocking out grief that's way more severe. So consider that's when you're making decisions and whatnot. Instead of acting on anger, remember that grief. Even if you're not feeling it, consider acting on that instead, because the mistakes you might make out of anger might be far worse. Thanks for looking out for me, Diego. I'll bear that in mind. Good. You're still gonna follow through, right? Find out the truth about all this. You're angry about it. That's one reason to find out. Maybe the truth will set any repressed emotions free, too. That's another good reason. Yeah, not gonna lie, I wish I could just rewind time to the afternoon that I visited Eric at his house after he dropped that stage light on his foot like a dumbass. I told you about that, right? Yep. You got talking about dudes you were into. That's what made you go after Ty in the first place. Exactly. What if I could load a save game, like this was some kind of video game or something? What if I could just give Eric a different answer, or maybe leave the damn rat to fend for himself and avoid that entire shit show altogether? How different would things be? Maybe there's an alternate timeline running in parallel. Different versions of me dating different people. Would those versions of me be happier? Did I make the worst possible decision in pursuing Ty? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and check out our Patreon and YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. But anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!